What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, and we are generally just plodding through January at the moment. If you're an Arsenal fan, from one point of view, the transfer window is open and we've done absolutely nothing so far. And second of all, because we're out of the Carabao Cup and out of the FA Cup, we've only played a couple games in the whole month. So January feels like a very slow month for Arsenal fans. But listen, big up to everyone locked in. Appreciate your support as always. We'll talk about players that we're probably not going to sign. And yeah, we'll shamelessly do a stream. Now, listen, Arsenal are doing the typical. We're not going to sign anybody in January. So what we'll do, we'll start talking about players that we'll probably end up with in the summer, just to try and keep everyone calm, you know. So that's what they'll probably do, and that's what we are doing at the moment, you know. So listen, big up to everyone locked in. I think Arsenal may try and do a little bit of business in terms of a defender on loan if there's somebody out there, but if not, they're going to do absolutely nothing. So yeah, man, big up to everyone tuned in. Bless up Curtis and the GOAT community. Big up yourself, bro. The black on black looks clean. Pause. Yeah, the New York Yankees and all of that. But big up yourself. Can't be harsh. Nobody is signing players. People are scared of FFP. Yeah, but listen, we have to deal with our own situation. We haven't won the title for 20 years. I don't care what Chelsea do. They won the Champions League 2 or 3 years ago. I don't care what City do. They won the treble last year. Man United have got 2 Champions Leagues in the last, 24 years? So I get what you're saying. Yeah, other clubs are not signing, but I'm looking at our situation. We need players. We're meant to be in a title race, you know. If we'd have managed our finances better, we would have been able to sign players. But listen, I get it. Listen, make sure you hit that like button, people. Big up Dage Guna said, big up Curtis at work running to catch up with the stream. Addictive channel. That's what I like to hear, people. Locked in. Super Kev is still hiding. I'm trying to get him on before the weekend. He said, I think he is getting better, but still not there yet. He knows the cooking is on the way, people. Arsenal, please buy Ivan Toney. Get him to this club. I wish we were signing him right now, though. Even if we get him in the summer. You know, he could have maybe been the difference. Anyway, let's get into today's show, people, where we will talk transfers, and there are obviously some stories and things going around. We'll delve into them, get your guys' opinion, and we'll sort of see where we're at. Let's start off by talking, actually, about Zubimendi, who's being linked with a move to Arsenal at the moment. It's another name that we've spoken about time and time again. There's a story going around that Zubimendi is very close to a pre-agreement to join Arsenal in the summer. He was heavily linked with a move to Barcelona, but it's believed Zubimendi wants a fresh start. He wants to leave Spain. He wants to go somewhere else. He's obviously very attached to his club Real Sociedad, where Kieran Tierney's on loan at the moment, and he's back from injury now. Zubimendi's in the next stage of the Champions League. They won their group above Inter. They're playing PSG, and Zubimendi's playing well. He's always been very clear that he didn't want to move mid-season, but apparently closer than it's ever been, people. It's so close, you can smell it. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, it's typical Arsenal. You know, they're not going to sign anyone. They know that the fan base are irritable, so they throw out stories that Zubimendi is close. He's so close, he's almost holding up his shirt, people. Remember how close Mudryk was. But hey, it is what it is. Listen, again, I've always said, I haven't seen enough of him playing for Sociedad. I've watched a few games because of our links to him. He seems very good on the ball, low centre of gravity, blah, blah, blah. But is he the answer? Is he the answer to what we need? Listen, personally, I think we need 2 centre midfielders in the summer. I think we need one with some physical presence and one that maybe can get on the ball and make something happen. Maybe he's the one that can get on the ball. 24 years of age. We've spoken about him a million times. You know, he turns 25 next week, actually. 20 appearances this season for Sociedad. 4 goals, 1 assist. He obviously is more of a deep-lying playmaker. And he's played a few times for Spain as well. A lot of you rate him highly. He's got a £52 million release clause in his contract that is available right now. Now, Barcelona are looking at him. But Barcelona having a lot of financial difficulties at the moment. They've already come out and said they won't be signing João Felix on a permanent deal after his loan. Is he close to joining Arsenal? Is his agent putting that out there to try and put pressure on Barcelona? Is that the move that he wants? Or are Arsenal just feeding it out there because they know this frustration in the fan base and they want to calm, you know, people like me down by saying, don't worry though, we're going to get Zubimendi in the summer. Listen, I don't know how good he is, so I can't sit here and say, look, Zubimendi takes us to the next level. I agree, he looks quite slim, bit lightweight. And we know Fabio Vieira struggled with that lack of physicality. Maybe he's a little bit more aggressive than him. Obviously, he plays centre mid. Last season, he got 12 yellow cards. He's got 3 this season, so I would expect him to have a little bit more bite in his game than Fabio Vieira. But certainly not the biggest, so he would definitely probably have to adjust to the Premier League. 52 million. It seems like somebody that Mikel Arteta would want. You know, it feels like a typical Mikel Arteta signing. As I said, I don't know how good he is, so it's not a player that I'm going to sit here and say Arsenal should go and get him, because I genuinely don't know if he's that good. Barella is one that I've always said I would love Arsenal to go and get from Inter. He would be expensive. I would love Arsenal to get Fofana from Monaco. And obviously there's other midfielders out there. I think we need 2 midfielders in the summer, but the lack of physicality worries me a little bit. And I know some of the best players we've ever seen in the Premier League are not the most physical. You know, it's not easy, but, you know, you think about Scholes and players like that, weren't exactly the most physical, but were brilliant. Santi Cazorla was a brilliant deep-lying player for us as well. Gunnar edits, hi Curtis, I'm a big Arsenal fan, live in the US, never been to a game. I'm trying to go to a game this spring, problem are the tickets. Listen, honestly, and I'll say this now, a lot of people message me and say, I'm going to a game, can you get tickets? It's so hard to get tickets now because of this new membership scheme. Your 2 best options, try and buy them through a website, but you're probably going to pay more. Number 2 is join as a red member. Get involved in the ballot. You've got just as good an opportunity as anybody of getting a ticket if you join as a red member, but it is quite difficult. And thirdly, just go to the stadium and there's ticket touts all outside the ground. But again, they're going to bump you a little bit. You may pay 2 or 3 times more than the face value. But if you go into one of the lesser teams, it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper. Nico said he's basically Jorginho with legs. Tony said we should have got Kudus. I agree with that. Rice and Havertz have physicality. I want a technical midfielder. Yeah, listen, and I agree. I want a technician to go and play next to Declan Rice. I just hope he can handle the physical nature of it, you know. Ashley said I'd take Barella. Inter wanted 60 million when Newcastle bid for him. I don't understand how somebody didn't buy him. I think he's a brilliant player. Phillips, Ward-Prowse, Paqueta is better than Rice, Havertz, Odegaard. Deep that for a second. Yeah, I'd say it is better, to be honest. Paqueta is a baller. Ward-Prowse, you know exactly what you get in set-piece FC. And Phillips will be decent for them. Salman, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'm not saying it, but yeah, Havertz, what, 6'3", 6'4"? There ain't nothing physical about that guy, let me tell you. He might be tall, but he ain't strong. I saw the guy jumping around on the floor on the weekend before anybody even touched him. Trixie said, little reminder, y'all laughed at Ferran Torres. He just scored a hat-trick, has 11 goals across all competition. Yeah, interesting. I'll keep it a book. I was never a big fan of Ferran Torres. But yeah, he's doing all right for Barca, to be honest. Put Zinni with Rice and buy a new left-back or wait for Timber. I wouldn't have a problem with that till the end of the season. Simon, thank you for the super chat. If he is to move to the Prem, seems Arsenal would suit both him and Arteta from San Sebastian. He'd have insight from Xabi, who coached at Real B. Well, there you go. Yeah, Obviously, there's a connection with Arteta, and Arteta seems like this is a player he very much wants. So let's see what happens with that one. Zubimendi. The story is that he's close to a pre-agreement to join Arsenal in the summer, but I don't want to get too excited about it. Number one, how good is he? Will he adjust to the Prem? And is it just paper talk during a quiet and, relatively boring transfer window? Big up Big C in the chat. Let's see what a few of you are saying in the comments. Ferran is not Premier League quality. He did okay at Man City. Torreira was more physical than Havertz. I agree, and he wasn't quite up to it. Havertz physical, what am I hearing? He's a physical mess. That's what I would say. Big up Oz in the chat. Bruno is 100 million. That's Newcastle. Yeah, I think he's too expensive. I wouldn't pay that for him. Havertz is a mixture of a giraffe and a piece of tissue paper. Yeah, exactly. We'd probably rather have a giraffe in the team at the moment. Probably be more effective. Somebody who is coming back. In the words of Arsene Wenger, he's like a new signing. If we can afford it, we would do it. Thomas Partey, people. Thomas Partey apparently to join in full training tomorrow. This is the rumour going around. Apparently he joins in full training with the team tomorrow. He has been training this week away from the group as he builds up his fitness. Obviously he's been out for a number of months. And I'm going to be honest, and I know I've had a lot of frustration, and I think Arsenal fans have been quite annoyed with Thomas Partey just because we know how good he can be, but the lack of availability has really damaged us this season. Declan Rice should have gone into a midfield that was fully functioning with Rice, Partey and Odegaard. Instead, Rice has had to carry this midfield. The General is back. His baby was born this week. He's been training and apparently joins in full training tomorrow. Now, obviously, Arsenal don't play until next Tuesday when they play against Nottingham Forest. So he does still have a few days to maybe gain some momentum and some fitness. Maybe they'll play a game behind closed doors and get him available for next Tuesday. I would imagine he would be on the bench, not starting. Looks like he's about to do a Curtis Shaw TV with the shirt. He's just seen Callum Wilson score with his tooth hanging out. He's about to rip the shirt. Keros said he'll probably go and injure his pinky toe. Child or grandchild? Yeah, I mean, yeah, say no more. But listen, it's a difficult one. I said at the start of the season when he got injured, psychologically, I'm taking him out of the equation. And what I meant by that was he's so unreliable, I'm just going to almost act as if he doesn't play for us. If he does come back and we get him for 15, 20 games, then it's an absolute bonus. He could be a game changer for us because I genuinely believe our midfield has been one of our weakest areas of our team this season, despite spending 170 million on Rice and Havertz. Obviously, we know that Declan Rice has been quality, but Havertz has not done well, and Odegaard's form has dropped off massively. If you can get Rice, Partey, and Odegaard's form improves, it is a game changer until the end of the season, but I wouldn't pin my hopes on it, is what I will say. Salman said, I think his body is breaking down like Hazard when he went to Madrid. I think some players are just not built for the Premier League. Physically, it's the demand. People don't understand. Like in Spain, we know that if top plays one of the bottom teams, they're almost guaranteed to win that game. The Premier League is different. You can, we struggled to beat Luton 4-3 last minute winner, and this team, you can go to Forest and get beat. You can drop points against these teams. The demand is much more. They get a winter break over there, 2 weeks over Christmas, fly home, relax, put your feet up. In England, you are training on Christmas Day, people. Do you know what I mean? You play loads of games over the festive period. It's a demanding league. It's not built for everybody. And it doesn't matter how physically strong you are. It's if your body is capable of dealing with it. I think Partey will leave Arsenal in the summer. He has a year left on his contract, 200 grand a week. I don't think they'll allow him to run that contract down. We know Juventus wanted him. We know clubs in Saudi wanted him. I think they'll cash in. Somebody just said in the comments there, one final push, and that's what it is. We just want him to give us 15 games. Get us as close to the league and the Champions League as you can, and then on your bike, fella, and we get 2 in. Curtis, I remember you saying Partey is our best midfielder. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it 100. And I'm not going to get caught up in recency bias. I'm going to be totally honest. I think an informed Thomas Partey, which we saw for probably 3/4 of last season, the last quarter he was finished. I think an informed Thomas Partey is still at a higher level than the informed Declan Rice we've seen this season. I'm going to be honest. He's better on the ball than him. And that's the one thing that Rice still doesn't play through the lines quick enough for me. Partey at his best is Arsenal's best midfielder. I stand by it. I'm not going to get caught up in recency bias. I know MD saying Rice is our best player. You're looking at what he's done this season. This guy's been in Champions League and winning La Liga and playing for Diego Simeone. Declan Rice ain't been at them levels yet, bro. This guy's been there against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu and Barcelona in the Nou Camp. You know, he's Partey at his best is better than Declan Rice at his best at the moment. I'm not saying Rice in a year, 2 years isn't better. I think he can get better. But Partey at his peak is different level. Different level. His passing is a game changer. Partey is better than Declan 100%. Big up penalty spot. Hope you're well, bro. There was an argument with Partey and Rodri. Exactly. Last season, there was people saying, do you know what, man? He looks better than Casemiro. There was Rodri conversations last season, but we know that, you know, the injuries of what have done him. Listen, I hope he comes back. I hope he's fit. I hope we can get 15, 20 games out of him, and then you do whatever you need to do in the summer. But he could be a game changer for us, honestly. I know I'm clinging to things here and, you know, no signings, but if we can get him fit and then get Timber fit in the next maybe 6 weeks, 7, 8 weeks, that is the best that we're going to get at the moment. So, yeah, Girona are top of the league, which is unbelievable. That's a bit of a Leicester thing for them. Rodri ain't done ish this season. I mean, I wouldn't say he ain't done nothing. He's still a huge part of what City do. How are we comparing two people of vastly different age? Doesn't matter, bro. He's 30 and what's Declan Rice, 24? I'm just saying, somebody said that I said Partey was our best midfielder, and I think when he's fit, he is. But whether he can get back to that level again, I don't know. That's the problem. Anyway, let's move on from Partey. Back in training tomorrow, and hopefully on the bench for the game against Nottingham Forest on Tuesday. Let's talk about Kyle Walker-Peters. Not Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker-Peters. Rocking his Marcus Rashford, a.k.a. Saka blonde top, looking like a pint of Guinness. Listen, man, I mean, let's talk about it anyway. Team Talk sources have stated that Southampton's Kyle Walker-Peters is a name Arsenal fans need to keep an eye on over the next week. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'd rather not keep an eye on Kyle Walker-Peters' name over the next couple of weeks or whatever. It's not a player that I want to sign. Let's talk about the deal. Arsenal apparently want him on loan with an option to buy him, which means obviously you can send him back in the summer, no problem. Now, at the moment, Southampton are in the playoff zone of the Championship. He's their number one right back. Of course, they don't want to let him go. But there is some financial problems there. Obviously, a big wage bill due to the fact they got relegated. They've still got Shea Adams and people like that, although they did get rid of Ward-Prowse. Southampton don't want to let him go, but if the player is keen for a move, they would potentially let him go on loan if there was an obligation for Arsenal to buy him in the summer. Then Southampton would know that they are guaranteed those funds coming in the summer. Now, I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny here, people. And I understand you're not going to have 20 to 25 players in your squad that are of a world-class level. I don't expect that to happen. Yeah, Lawrence, I can see your super chat. I'll get to it, bro. No problem. I don't expect Arsenal to have 25 world beaters in their team. I don't. I realise some players are there to make up numbers. It's squad depth. Cool, no problem. But I'm sorry, this is not the kind of signing that should be anywhere near Arsenal, shouldn't be linked to Arsenal, don't want nothing to do with him. It is TK Maxx shopping. You're a medium, but you've took the Ralph Lauren t-shirt in an extra large because it's on sale, but you look like you're wearing a bin liner. Like, come on, man. It could be made up, so I'm not going to get on to Arsenal. This could be absolutely nothing. I don't want Kyle Walker-Peters anywhere near Arsenal Football Club. He's not good enough, first of all. Let's keep it 100. We're trying to catch Manchester City, people, with Pep Guardiola. He's got Kyle Walker, one of the best right-backs of the last generation. And we're out here getting Walker-Peters. Do me a favour. I'm sorry. No. Don't bring him anywhere near the football club. And he's also an ex-Tottenham player. I'd be prepared to ignore that if he was an absolute baller. I don't want him anywhere near the football club. Not even close. Tomiyasu's better. Ben White, when he's in form, is better. I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near the football club. If they want him, and they're saying we've got to loan him with an obligation, imagine spending, and they're going to want 20 million for him. You know, he's a decent player for them. Imagine spending 15, 20 million on Kyle Walker-Peters. Remember, we've got to spend 30 million on David Raya in the summer. So you could be £50 million down already. And you've got, you said, come on, do me a favour. Don't go anywhere near this. What I want to ask you, though, Sports Direct, yeah, no refund. You just get a gift card if you take it back to the shop. It's all mad. I would rather Arsenal did nothing than did this, honestly. And I love new signings, but I'd rather you do absolutely nothing than do this. Don't do anything. Don't waste the wages. Don't waste your time. Don't do anything. We're still shopping in thrift shop, Kurt. It's not a big club mentality. I don't bring him anywhere near the football club. What I want to ask you, though, if it was a loan with an option, would you take him as a squad player with the thought process that we bring him in and just send him back there in the summer? I'm going to be honest, I don't even want him on loan with an option. I don't see the point. I'd rather promote a young player. It's just a totally pointless signing for me. He's a half decent mid-table fullback in the Premier League. But sometimes, because there are some of you saying, yeah, as a squad depth on loan, send him back in the summer, I get it. Sometimes I think the message you send out when you make a certain signing is like more damaging than the actual signing itself. You know, I just think it's a terrible deal if Arsenal go for it. And I would honestly rather we don't sign anyone. Just lock the transfer window off. It's a waste of wages, a waste of time. Just don't bother. You got to remember, people, the Asia Cup finishes in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, you've got Tomiyasu back. Ben White's fit. Zinchenko's fit. And you're looking at maybe 2 months to get Timber. We don't need him. Don't waste your time, Arsenal. Don't bother with him. It would be my advice to any Arsenal staff member that's tuning in. I don't want nothing to do with him. Kyle Walker-Peters is another Cedric deal. Play the Ute Souza, exactly. And no, do you know what? AR1 Russ. That's a great point, you know. Where is the Brazilian connection? I actually had this down in my notes the other day and forgot to talk about it when we were talking about Edu. Imagine we've got the technical director, well, sporting director now. We've got the sporting director of the Brazilian national team. This guy, every international duty, was with the Brazilian national team. Even though I said, you know, glorified travel agent, you know, get you a transfer to the hotel, all-inclusive, extra legroom on the plane and all of that stuff. Every international duty, he was with Neymar and all them, man. He's seen the under-21s. Where's the young bucks from Brazil, fam? Yeah, you got us a Gabriel from France, but we knew about him and that was a good one, I'll give you that. Martinelli was not his signing. So you've got us Gabriel Magalhaes, who's been very good. And you've got us Marquinhos, who cried his eyes out and then gets loaned out and they're sending him back from loans. Gabriel Jesus, 3 goals this season. Lacazette with cheekbones. Where's the Brazilian... What the hell was this guy doing with the Brazilian national team? I was thinking, you know what, Edu, and obviously because the UK has left the European Union, Brexit, it's now easier to get a work permit from South America. So I thought, yes, all these Brazilian youngsters that used to go to like Shakhtar Donetsk and stuff because the work permit was easy, we'll go and get the next Vinicius Jr., the next Neymar, the next Thiago Silva, the next Marcelo. Man's out here getting Marquinhos for 3 million when he could have got him for nothing. What the hell was this guy doing with the Brazilian national team? I want to see the next Vinicius Jr., fam. What's going on? Yeah, this guy, Kyle Walker-Peters. Nah, do me a favour, man. Something ain't right. Something ain't right, man. I'm telling you now. Lacazette with cheekbones. I'm sorry. That's until I see goals. That's the nickname we're running with. I like Gabriel Jesus. Very good footballer. You know, we just beat Palace 5-0. He didn't score. Like, come on. Come on. He got to start bagging. But yeah, the next Ronaldinho. Something. But yeah, man, that Brazilian connection's done nothing for us so far. Lawrence said, Big C, did you hear about us turning down Benzema? There was a story yesterday. I didn't actually, what's his name? I can't remember what journalist it was. But anyway, it was it Charles Watts? Well, anyway, somebody said that Benzema had been offered to Arsenal. And Arsenal apparently said no. Some people have said it wasn't true, that the Saudi club haven't offered him to Arsenal. But if he has been offered and we've said no, then that sums it up. It's stupid. Mars said, big up Curtis, did you see the video of that Walad dissing you troops and Dan? I ain't seen nothing, bro. I ain't heard nothing. Let me know. Who was it? Who was it? Let me know. Big up Mars. And yeah, man, we ain't... worst transfer business in world football. You reckon Benzema can do it in the Prem at 36? I reckon he could still finish. That's the main thing. I reckon you would have to create chances for him. But I reckon he would he'd have more goals than Gabriel Jesus this season. That would be my question to you would be, if he'd played as many games as Gabriel Jesus played this season, do you think he'd have more goals? As I said, he scored 19 goals for Real Madrid last season. So that was only 6 months ago. So, but I don't think they've even offered him because they're desperate to hang on to him, apparently. And his wages, £2.8 million a week. So I don't think it happens. Benzema has won more trophies for Madrid than our whole team has for the last 20 years. But hey, it is what it is. Who was this? Is C Unit will ride out. We don't play, we don't play. I'll drop a window shopper. I'll send you the link on IG. Hit me up, bro. Hit me up. Anyway. Big up the community. Big up the community. Yeah, reveal his name. Reveal him. Reveal yourself. Throw it in the chat, man. Who was it? We want to know. You don't need to send the link. Let us know. You can send the link as well, though, anyway. I'll drop a piggy bank tune if I have to. We don't play people. But yeah, man, big up the community. Anyway, let's move on. No worries, people. More transfer news. That probably isn't going to happen. But we'll talk about it. And man like Victor Osimhen, the man in the mask, who... I said it the other day, man. It's I would take him, but I'm just not impressed with this guy when I watch him. I'm going to be totally honest. And AFCON is not the easiest tournament to judge players on sometimes, but even when I've watched him at Napoli, and then, like I said, I've been watching him at AFCON, he's just not looking great. Like, I don't think I've ever watched Osimhen and thought, yo, just drop the 100 million and get him to the club. Like, as I said, I could be totally wrong, and maybe this guy is an absolute baller, but I just don't see it in him, honestly. I'm really not sure whether this guy is the answer. He put out a statement about his future, and I'm just going to read it out. I had it here ready. It seems to have disappeared. Osimhen, right. Osimhen put out a statement regarding his future. And he said he already knows what he wants to do next season. He said, I already have a plan for next season, and I already know what I want to happen. Which obviously has sparked rumours that, has he already agreed to join Arsenal. I've said it before and I've said it again. I think he's going to Chelsea, right? I think he's going to Chelsea, and that's not what's it called? That's not me having any sort of inside information. But I just think that Chelsea are going to throw the bag at him. They'll pay the release clause calmly, and I think that I just don't think he's coming to Arsenal. I honestly don't. I'll be surprised if it happened. I'm hearing a lot of talk about money and wages, and I think once you get a player that's looking for big wages, I just don't think he ends up at Arsenal, because Arsenal pay big wages, but I just don't think they will pay the kind of money he wants. Now, he rejected Saudi last summer on crazy wages. But apparently the Saudi club want him again. Maybe they've come back with even more money, and he's just like... So to me, I think if he's coming to the Prem, he's going to Chelsea. I think otherwise, he's going to Saudi for probably about £1 million a week. And then the other one is maybe Real Madrid would come in for him if obviously he didn't have an opportunity to go... if they didn't have the opportunity to go and get Kylian Mbappe, which that deal seems to get delayed every year anyway. Osimhen will be Pepe all over again, leave him be. I just feel like he's looking for the bag. I think he's looking for the bag. I think he'll go Chelsea, Madrid or Saudi. I'll be very surprised if he ends up at Arsenal. Somebody was saying in the comments, why didn't you go on Wax's channel the other day? I was caught in horrendous traffic. And I just couldn't get back in time. I honestly couldn't get back. Me and him have spoke. There's no problem. I'm going to rearrange it hopefully for next week. So yeah, you will see me on there. The Gooner channel is his name, says Moz. I don't even know who that is, bro. I don't even know who that is. But, you know, don't worry about it. Listen, don't worry, man. Don't worry. We're doing our thing. When you're doing well, people, they want to chat about you. They want to hate, man. You seen American Gangster, Frank Lucas? You know, your success took a shot at you. You know, if you watch the film, you know anyway. I don't mind people. But I'll have a look, because if I have to drop an ether, I can drop something. I'll pull out bars and start writing. I got pen and paper here, people. I'm old school, Hotmail. You know what I mean? So, nah, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. But big up anyway, man. But yeah, Osimhen anyway. Listen, I always said, when you speak harsh reality, you will offend people. You will offend people. Tom Canton wants to collab with you as well. He said so on a live. Listen, I always say to people, I'm here. You go on my Twitter account, the DMs are open. You go on my Instagram, you can message me. I told you my Hotmail address, email. I'm there. Anybody wants to collab, drop me a message. And we talk, we sort something out. I got no problem. South London said he's got one little dead channel. He's not even worth it. Exactly, man. Come on. You just got to move like... You know when Jay-Z back in the day used to just say, I ain't even talking about them. You know what I mean? You just make them go on, man. Make them man go on. I ain't interested in some... You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. The T-shirt should say I've got Hotmail. Tom Canton is Arteta's loyal. Do you know what, though? I don't mind working with people that have got a different viewpoint to me. It's not like I'm saying, yo, I'm only going to go on your channel if you think like I think. That's naive. Like, I actually don't. I actually don't mind. Jeez, man's cracking me up in the comments. I actually don't mind. I can't even click on some of these comments. I actually don't mind working with people that have got a different opinion. It is what it is. It'd be a good debate. Anyway, let's move on. You man are running wild in the comments. Man want me to drop diss tracks. Soldiers stand down. Yeah. We're about to ride out. Relax. What's your Hotmail? CurtisShawTV@hotmail.com. Don't get no better than that. Anyway, let's move on. The chat's legendary, man. The chat is legendary. Right, let's move on to the next one. What else have we got? Yeah, Mikel Arteta story just to round up. Team Talk saying a lot about Arsenal over the last day or two. Team Talk have been informed. Who's informed them? It's always interesting. I could start saying that. Curtis Shaw TV has been informed. that Mikel Arteta is willing to wait until the summer to bring in the perfect forward at Arsenal. A more likely addition for this month would be a defender who has the ability to play across the back four. I mean, is willing to wait until the summer, bro. You have no choice but to wait until the summer. You know, that's like saying, you know what, I've decided, yeah, I'm not gonna make that move on Beyonce. I'm gonna wait until the summer. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not really your choice, bro. Like, you have to wait until the summer because you ain't got no money, bro. That's like me saying, nah, I ain't buying no champagne tonight, but really all I've got is a bus ticket in my pocket. Like, I ain't got no choice. I ain't buying no Moe. There ain't no sparklers coming to my table tonight. Just keep it moving. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's, I'll wait until the summer. But actually, we're out here flat broke. That's the problem. So, yeah, he's going to wait until the summer. Listen, we've spoke about it a lot over the past few days. Obviously, Arsenal are going to go big for a striker this summer. I don't think there's any question and any doubt. Arsenal also don't have any excuse. This market this summer will be a fantastic market to go and get a striker. You've got to look at last summer. You had strikers like Højlund. Nearly £70 million. One good season in Italy, 9 goals, £70 million. You know, this summer, you're looking at Osimhen with a release clause, 110 million. Whether I rate him or not, if the club rate him, the release clause is there. You're going to have Ivan Toney with a year left on his contract. Probably get him for 60, 65 million. And you've got Newcastle in financial difficulty where Isak could potentially be bought in the summer, although it would cost maybe 80 or 90 million. And obviously, as I tried to say in the press conference in New York, a certain Kylian Mbappe is out of contract. But I won't say it too loud because they'll say, you're a lunatic. We can't get Mbappe. But the question I always ask is, why are we not in the running for Mbappe? And that's my question. I always ask that question. Mbappe can reject Arsenal and go to Real Madrid. I hold my hands up at that. It's Madrid. You would turn down Arsenal for Madrid. But why are we not in the race? Why are we not the guy in lane 8 who finishes last but at least gets his personal best in the 100-meter Olympic final? You know, Usain Bolt is Real Madrid, and, you know what I mean, the Saudi offer is, like, you know, Asafa Powell. But I at least want to be the guy in lane 8 from, like, Sweden who ran in 10.5 and got a personal best. But, hey, we're not even in the race. But what I'm saying is, in general, there are going to be 3 or 4 big strikers on the move this summer, so there is no excuse for Arsenal not to get somebody. Somebody just said there in the comments, and I did miss it. But what they said was, it's always the summer. And I get that frustration, and I've said that so many times. Here it is, James A. It's always the summer. I've said it so many times. And no disrespect to Sweden, by the way. I'm just saying, in a 100-meter race, usually, you know, it's you know, somebody from like Jamaica or America or someone winning the gold. It just is what it is. It might have changed now, though. I haven't watched it for a while. But, yeah, all we ever hear is in the summer. And if you manage your money right in the summer, number one, you don't have to do big business in January because what you did in the summer is already fixed the problems. Or number two, if you sell players and balance the books, you can go again in January. That's the other thing. Because to me, Arsenal could have sold players in this January window and made some money to go and sign somebody in this window. I would have sold Eddie Nketiah January the 1st. Crystal Palace interest, you're gone. Oh, you don't want to leave? Cool, you're training with the under-23s. You won't play for me again the rest of the season. Now do you want to leave? Oh, you do want to leave. Yeah, Crystal Palace. Get your stuff. Yeah. Out the door, mate. Ramsdale, I like Ramsdale. I would have played him, but under this manager, you want Raya? Ramsdale, Chelsea, Newcastle need a goalkeeper. On your bike. Let's get some money in. You sell Nketiah and Ramsdale, that's 60, 70 million in the bag. You go and buy a striker, you go and buy a centre midfielder. You go and buy somebody that's going to affect this team for the rest of the season. But we have to manage our money better. There are a lot of people in the summer going, this is one of the best windows we've ever had. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I sat there, I said, 6 out of 10. I said it from the end of the window. I said 6 out of 10. How can it be a 6 out of 10 window? We signed Declan Rice. I said 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. As soon as Timber got injured, it might even be less than 6 out of 10. Because David Raya for Ramsdale is neither here nor there. I'm not going to complain about that, but it just is what it is. Timber was unfortunate. Rice is a brilliant signing, but no matter what I think of Xhaka, and I wanted Xhaka out the door, it was time to replace him. Xhaka had a very good season last season. So Rice for Xhaka was just like for like, slightly better. He actually is not affecting the game as much as Xhaka going forward. Xhaka got 7 goals, 7 assists. Rice is obviously defensively much more solid for us. And Havertz, I mean, say no more about Havertz. One of the worst signings I've ever seen at Arsenal when I look at the price tag, the wage, the club you signed him from, and the lack of effect on the team. It's been an absolutely horrific signing. And like you said, people have said, you could have signed Kudus, you could have signed Maddison, you could have signed Szoboszlai. There was players left, right and centre that you could have signed that would have been better deals, you know. So you could have gone for Neto. There were multiple players you could have bought. But it is what it is. Can't pay, we'll take it away. Exactly. Take the Nketiah sofa out of here, people. We can't afford the debt. Nobody sells in January. Remember that one? That's one that I get thrown at me on. Oh, nobody does big business in January. Okay. Yeah. You remember Van Dijk to Liverpool. You remember Aubameyang to Arsenal. Remember Alexis to Man United. Remember all the business Chelsea did last summer, last January. Mudryk. All this nobody sells, people don't buy in January is a myth. It's a myth, people. It's an absolute myth. If you got the money, you got the ambition, there's a great chance you'll get the player. Remember Enzo, Benfica? We're not selling him at any price, categorically. There's no chance. You want 100 million? Oh, yeah, go on then. You can have Enzo. There you go. Mudryk, deal done. Listen, you pay the money, these guys move. Don't buy into all these, oh, nobody sell. No, they do sell in January if the price is right. Bruce Forsyth business people. Big up the Southern Gooner. He said, this past summer is knocking on the door and Sliss saying the rent is due. Bro, I mean, it's a mad one. It is. We're now paying the price for what happened last summer. Do you know what I mean? We're now paying the price for it because we're just saying, oh my God, how do we get out of this debt of Kai Havertz? How do we get ourselves out of that? Do you know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good, man. It's like I said, we ain't going to be able to wriggle our way out of it until the summer, and you're still going to have players like Havertz there. The rent is due every summer, according to Top Gooners. Could Osimhen twerking for Chelsea be an inverted Mudryk deal? What twerks for Chelsea goes to Arsenal? Let's see. I bought Arsenal not for trophies. Stan Kroenke. Be excited. Trust the process. Josh Kroenke. We got rid of Wenger and for Emery and Arteta. Make it make sense. We're 100% a top 4 no trophies club. See, the thing is, for him to win the league would cost him a lot more money and a lot more ambition. You got to understand, these guys have got big bonuses in their contract. I think the story came out last season when we was in the title running that about 3/4 of our team have a bonus in their contract that if we win the title, they get a significant amount of money. So he might actually be looking at it going, well, with the amount of money I've got to spend to win the league, which means I've probably got to buy a striker, a centre midfielder, another right winger, another defender. Then I've got to pay out all them bonuses to the players. Does he actually make significant money by Arsenal winning the title? Or is it actually cheaper for him to say, listen, you spend the money that the club have earned, which is sponsorships and merch and all of that. You get us top 4. They get the Champions League money. Everyone's a winner, apart from the fans of the football club, because we want to see Arsenal win the title, but they actually tick over. No pressure. They hardly ever come to a game. Fans don't put any pressure on them. If you go and mention Kroenke on Twitter now, people who jump in the comments and say, how can you complain about Kroenke? They spent 200 million in the summer. Yeah, but that was our own money. So why are we praising him for giving us our own cash? You know what I mean? It's like you giving your mum your savings and she gives it you back to spend. That hasn't come out of her own pocket. That's your dough. That's all the Kroenkes are doing. They're babysitting our money and giving us our own money. And people are celebrating them. If he wants to win the league and he's telling us to be excited, invest heavily, sell properly, and go and win the title. Really go and win the title. Because like I said about last January, when we got to January, we all knew we needed players. We knew we needed that push over the finish line. They went and bought 3 cheap options. Trossard is a player I like. Kivior's not good enough. Not right now, anyway. And Jorginho's just a meaty, average player who's past his best. So you sometimes you got to not buy into everything. I mean, look, Kyle said, stop the whinging, mate. We have known FFP is an issue. That's why we got Rare on loan. Listen, Kyle. Listen, I'm going to be respectful. Right. You're saying stop whinging. It's not whinging. It's me being honest. We're speaking facts. FFP is a problem if you don't manage your finances properly, right? FFP doesn't affect everybody. A Manchester City, well, they've got 115 charges, but are Real Madrid talking about FFP? No. Are Chelsea talking about FFP and they've spent $1 billion? No. Why? Because they've sold players properly. So if they need to spend, they can spend. We knew about FFP, so why have we not done anything to fix it, to give us an opportunity to do something in January? All you've got to do is sell a couple of players. And you can go again and buy somebody. If Ramsdale ain't going to play until the end of the season, why not sell him? If Eddie Nketiah's on the bench, hardly gets a kick, why not sell him? Sell 2 players that are not going to play much and go and buy somebody that can affect your first team in a title running. Surely that makes sense, Kyle. Maybe this is Kyle Walker-Peters in the chat. He's fuming because I've said don't bring him in on loan. But Kyle, come on. Think about the bigger picture, bro. It's not about don't whinge. It's about why are we in a January transfer window where we desperately need players? We're one of the biggest clubs in world football and we're talking about FFP. Why are we talking about? That's the bigger question, Kyle. So, I know they're getting onto you in the comments, but I'm being quite respectful there. But you've got to look at the bigger picture. People get too caught up in, he's having a moan, but they spent 200 mil. No, we need to look at the bigger picture. That's the only way we're going to keep that pressure on. Saliba Arteta out said, bro, Palace are willing to give us 30 million for Nketiah. We could literally get out of FFP. Exactly. Time out until the end of the season. That was Salt Bay. Salt Bay said, listen, man, don't you diss Arteta. We got gold stakes for sale and we need him to buy them. Oh, look at this. I've just got an email from Arsenal. Some of you may have it as well. Genuinely, this is breaking news. Breaking news. So I've got an email from Arsenal, so I'm thinking, ooh, maybe we've sold someone. Maybe we've brought somebody in, We're going to do something. The email says, Year of the Dragon. Sweatshirt, t-shirts, hoodies and tracksuits now on sale in the Arsenal Club shop and online. So we ain't got a striker. We haven't got a backup right winger. We haven't got cover at centre back. We've got no left back cover, but we've got some new merch. Dragon settings, Cisco. Don't make me unleash the dragon. I don't really, really want to unleash the dragon. Ladies, if you hear me say, yeah. Cisco settings, people. What the hell is going on? Cisco merch dropping on the website. But these lot can't get me a striker. It's not serious right now. It's not serious. I mean, listen, we'll buy the Year of the Dragon sweatshirt if you're going to get us Ivan Toney. Otherwise, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to talk to myself here. Look, as Kyle said, just stop whinging, buy the merch, trust the process. We'll finish third, we'll win nothing, and we'll go again next season, yeah? That's what I should do, innit? I should just do that, shouldn't I? You know what? Let's just order it, shall we? Let's get a medium next day delivery. It'll be here before 1 p.m. Should we do that, Kyle? Nah, no problem. We'll go Dubai mid-season, go check Salt Bay, get a gold steak. Yeah, just whatever the club does, we'll just follow that, shall we? When Troops went on that Jamaican theme rant describing Arsenal's Arteta's Salt Bay stunt, you were laughing, Matt. Bro, my belly was hurting. I was laughing that much. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. That was a great show. Big up Samuel, man. Big up. Uh, let's go sit down the armory. People, honestly, have any of you just got the notification? Wayne said, I've just got the notification. Seen Arsenal pop up. I said, yo, we're on the march. We're getting someone. We're not on the march. We're on the merch. Curtis, I thought about it. I don't want Tony. He's way overpriced. You're getting for 60, 65 million in the summer. 60, 65 mil. That can't be overpriced, bro. We paid 65 for Havertz. He's one of the worst signings I've ever seen. I don't see how Ivan Toney can be overpriced at 65 mil in the summer. He's got a year left. They won't get much more than that for him. Yo, we've signed Mbappe. Oh, no, we've got new merch out. Year of the Dragon. Man got me singing Cisco on a Wednesday afternoon. Phase 5.7. Right, anyway, I think that was it for stories, people. Short and sweet today. Transfer settings, talking about players we're not going to sign, brand new Dragon merch, Cisco FC, Drew Hill FC. Correction, just a handful of us fans want the club to win trophies. If the majority wanted, they wouldn't be sucking up all the PR. Exactly. I always say this. If other big clubs were doing what Arsenal were doing, we'd be criticising them and laughing at them. Because let's be honest, that's what you do to your rival clubs. You laugh at them, right? We laugh at Tottenham. 15 years, no trophy. You're a joke. That's how we look at it, innit? Yeah? Chelsea are struggling this season. We laugh at them. But I don't laugh at some of these clubs that much because I look at it and I think, well, they're going to turn around and go, well, 2-3 years ago, Champions League winners. Do you know what I mean? Man United were the dominant club in this country when I was growing up. We were probably the second. Man City have just won the treble. You know, Liverpool won the Champions League a few years ago. Premier League a couple of years ago. So in reality, we're the club that have fallen down the pecking order. City are top dogs right now. Not the biggest club, but they're the most successful club. Liverpool have won everything since Klopp's been there. So they're probably second. Chelsea have won Champions League 2 or 3 years ago. They won the Premier League 2017. Multiple FA Cups, Champions League further back. So they've had a lot of success in the last 15 years, right? Man United have had a bad decade since Ferguson's left. It's gone downhill, but they've still nicked a Europa League, an FA Cup, a League Cup, you know? But they've fallen along with us, really. We've won a handful of FA Cups. We haven't done anything serious in a long time, people. We haven't even been in a final since the FA Cup final that we won 4 years ago. Not even a final. And we'll do what we probably won't make a final this year unless something crazy happens. So we got to get the standards up. I say this all the time. I don't mind people moaning at me. I don't mind people going crazy in the comments on Twitter saying this, that, the other. I don't care. The number one thing, the message, whether you're Arteta in, out, whatever, lift the standards of the football club. Stop walking around celebrating the fact that we nearly did something. We nearly won the Premier League. I don't care about nearly. Win it or don't win it. That's all you do. You win the league or you don't win the league. And we didn't win the league. Yep, top 4, Champions League, more money, ability to buy better players. We know that. Have we built on it this season? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't. We look better last season. We had a better title running last season. It's harder this season. So what will they all say? Go again next season. At some stage, it's got to be now, this season, we want to see silverware now. Not next season, not in 2 years. We've waited long enough. The manager's had 4.5 years. Emery had 18 months. Wenger's last 5 or 3 or 4 years was weak outside of a couple FA Cups. We can't act like a small club and then call ourselves a giant of a club. The mentality's got to match with it. That's why I put pictures up like this as the green screen. You know, I know it's History Channel settings, but it's just to bring that reminder, like, some people don't understand. We were the best team in this country. Obviously, some years United got it, some years we got it, but we were number one. We were Man City. Teams played us and knew they'd lost already. We had you know what I mean? We need to change the mindset and stop accepting crumbs off the plate. So when they sign Havertz and you're not happy with it, be disappointed with it. We don't have to pretend we're happy with Havertz because he plays for Arsenal. Yeah, support him on the match day, of course. He's in a shirt, you want him to do well, but after the game, bon him. You're not good enough. You shouldn't be at the club. Match day, I'll sit there patiently. Yep, I hope he scores. As soon as he comes off, bon him. You're not good enough. You shouldn't be here. Demand the best. I don't want to see no Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't want to see Kai Havertz. Sign proper players. Lift silverware. But anyway, there we go, people. I'm out of it. Did I miss a super chat or have I read that one already? Young Gunner said, nobody remembers who finished second. Harsh reality. I saw people saying at the end of last season, it was a memorable season. Big accounts online. The end of a memorable season was a particular tweet that I saw, right? And I said, after that season finished, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, no Arsenal fan will particularly remember last season. They won't remember it. Because why? Because we didn't win. You will remember the FA Cup win when we beat Chelsea more than you'll remember last season. Because you will remember the feeling as a fan when Aubameyang chipped it over Caballero after twisting up Kurt Zouma. You will remember, every one of you now who's an Arsenal fan, you will remember where you were that day, watching that game, and how crazy you was going in your house, in the pub, wherever you was. Will you remember last season? No, you won't. You might remember Reece Nelson last minute or a couple moments. You ain't going to remember the season. That last season was Man City winning the treble. It wasn't Arsenal coming second. So we've got to start winning, create our own history, get some of these pictures on the screen again. You're right, Cello. Chelsea, stinking out the place this season, secured a Wembley place last night. People tell me the Carabao Cup's not a big enough trophy. I wish we were going to Wembley at the start of March to play against probably Liverpool in the final. I wish we was in that. Well, we would have played Liverpool, so we could have been playing Chelsea in the final. Imagine Chelsea v Arsenal Carabao Cup final. But there was Arsenal fans saying, oh, I don't care about the Carabao Cup. Oh, I don't care about the FA Cup. But the same FA Cup that kept Arteta in a job. We need to change the mentality. Otherwise, I said it before, we just become Tottenham in a red kit. We're a good team that don't win trophies, and we never want to become that. Listen, people, I'm out of here. Get the likes up. I'll be back on again tomorrow. Hopefully, there's a little bit more to concentrate on. And a weekend with no football because we got knocked out of the FA Cup. So we got to watch everyone else play and wait until Tuesday when we play Nottingham Forest away. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Like the video and subscribe. Lift the standards, people. We want to be lifting trophies again. Don't want to be the also rants. Take care, everyone. Bless.